If you've been around comic book Twitter this past week, then there's no doubt that you've seen the outrage at pregnant Joker. Someone posted it, and it's just gone everywhere. There's one single panel of Joker saying he's pregnant, everyone freaking out, talking about how this is the downfall of comics. Comics has been horrible, and look how awful everything is. And I guarantee you not a single one of these people read this comic. Now, sadly, I did read this comic. I have not read a single one of this series. This is called The Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing. This is issue 4 of that series. I haven't read a single issue of this. But because of all this outrage, I'm like, I'm going to go and read the issue first and then give my thoughts on it instead of just freaking out over one panel. So I've read the comic, and I can say everyone overreacted. Everyone overreacted. This is just a dumb comic. There's no, like, statement here. There's no, like, signaling the downfall of comics. There's none of that. It's so stupid seeing all these people freak out about this. It's dumb. So, the context for this, let me tell you what's going on here. First off, I started reading this, and I didn't realize that the story, that the pregnant story takes place in the back of the issue, because I was reading this, and it was actually an intriguing Joker story, where Joker's in a hospital running from the police and Red Hood, but also Joker had been shot by, like, an imposter Joker, and he had just recovered, and it's, like, a really interesting story. I actually liked the issue. I was like, this is actually pretty good. And then in the back, there's a backup story from Matthew Rosenberg. This is the pregnant story. That's just like a dumb sort of like Saturday like comic strip type story. It didn't even feel like a normal comic book. It wasn't making a statement or anything. So I was very surprised when I read this, because I was going in, I was like, what's going on with Joker being pregnant? Let's see. And I had a feeling it was just people overreacting because it's the Joker. And, you know, he's not exactly a serious character. I didn't think Joker had gotten surgery, become a woman, and then gotten impregnated by a man. I had my doubts that had happened. So, what happens is, I don't know what happened in the previous issue because I didn't read it, and I didn't bother to go back and read it. I don't care enough. But in this issue, in the beginning of it, Joker has been captured by Zatanna. He has apparently been harassing her, and in this, he makes several jokes about, hey, Zatanna, we'd make a great family together. And then she says, of course backwards, she says, no one else will have your baby. She says those words. No one else will have your baby, but of course she says it backwards, so it's, you know, Zatanna. And when she says that, she then lets Joker go. Joker goes back to his hideout. The next day, he wakes up, and he's pregnant. And just a bunch of silliness ensues. He doesn't know, like, how he's pregnant or what's going on. And then the doctor doesn't even know where the baby's going to come out of, because he's still a man. He doesn't have the proper system to deliver a baby. But then he throws up some, like, brown goo, and it morphs into this, like, little sort of Clayface looking creature. Gonna have to pause myself right there. This is me from the future editing this video you're watching. I have some new information. It turns out that is Clayface. I didn't read the previous issue, so I don't know if maybe they told you it was Clayface in the previous issue, but Matthew Rosenberg responded to some people on Twitter in some now deleted tweets, but I found them in an article about this. Rosenberg said, replying to a tweet, said, you get what people are claiming isn't what actually happens in the story, right? He swallows Clayface and then throws him up. He does not in any way get pregnant, nor does he give birth. He eats and pukes. There's a joke about pregnancy in the issue. That's it. And he says, I understand that you got offended thinking a cartoon character might have gotten pregnant in a wacky canonical story about a dream he had, but he didn't. He got food poisoning. So there you go. I think that puts it better than I could have, the writer himself talking about it. So it just shows how ridiculous people were to act up about this comic. But anyways, back to my previous self talking about this. And then after a few pages, it turns into like a mini Joker. And then they go and see Zatanna the next day, and they're like, and he's like, thanks, Zatanna. This is cool. I like having my own baby. Like, I like having a mini-me. And Zatanna seems even kind of shocked about it. Like, she didn't even, that's not even exactly what she meant when she said the spell. And that's it. It's literally just a silly, dumb comic. Like, you don't have to like it. I thought it was stupid. I didn't care for it. But to be up in arms about it and be outraged about it is pathetic. It is so stupid to be so upset about this and be like, this is signaling the end, I think. I think that's really dumb. Is it a good comic? Not really, but I did actually enjoy the previous story, the main story in this book. But this backup story from Rosenberg, I thought it was just like, it wasn't my cup of tea. It was kind of in the vein of like a lot of the modern Harley Quinn comics, where it's like, oh, look at this zany, crazy stuff that's going on. Isn't it so silly? I don't really care about that stuff, especially with these characters. So I didn't like it, but it wasn't like some type of huge DC like saying of statement or being like, look, men can get pregnant. It wasn't anything like that. It was just a zany like backup story. It's not even the primary story in this book. It's just where Zatanna said something to Joker because he was harassing her and he got pregnant and he throws up and has like a freaking like a vomit baby. It's stupid. That's all it is. It's not some big part of your culture war. There's a bunch of the culture warriors out there freaking out about this. Oh man, I had to make a video on this because I saw so many people freaking out about it, and I wanted to give my 2 cents. And I, of course, read the comic because that's what I like to do in these situations. Whenever there's some big, huge mess that happens, you got to read the comic to see what it is. Because sometimes there are some really stupid, bad things that happen. Like, sometimes there are some, like, what are you doing? Why would you ever do this? This is so, like, ridiculous. But this is just, like, this is nothing. This is literally nothing. You can just ignore this. But instead, people gave this attention. So you know how you get more of this? By giving it attention. This is the most attention this Joker book has ever gotten. I haven't heard zip about this book until now. But guess what? This is how you get more of this. By giving it this much attention. This is the most anyone has ever paid attention to this Joker book because of a panel where Joker says he's pregnant. Because of a stupid backup story. So that's how you get more of this. But no one cares. People continue to freak out because they get retweets on Twitter. So it is what it is. Anyways, that's basically all I had to say. If you want a more fun video, I made a video talking about my favorite comics from 2022. I'll have that linked in the outro if you want to watch that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I want to hear from you in the comments below. What do you think of all this ridiculous Joker outrage? Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.